This is 252 Pop Fiction, where you'll find all the news and reviews in pop culture that's right to type. Today's top story, Kevin Smith surprised audience at PowerCon convention by announcing the new anime He-Man series for Netflix. Masters of the Universe Revelations will take place in the Mattel Toys-inspired world and will focus on some of the unresolved storylines of the classic 80s show.
Like what?
I was a big fan. Okay, you say like what? Because from like what your memory is, a lot of those shows were like one-offs. They were almost like a non-connected universe. And it was all, and today's moral of the story, kids, is, you know. But however,
telling you to brush your teeth.
Yeah, there was Secrets of Eternia. There was a whole backstory of Grayskull and stuff like that. There was a
Christmas one,
a continued line, and they're going to, they're going to update it. They're going to.
All right. Well, hey, I'm not mad at it.
I'm surprised it took them this long to reboot
it. From what I can remember, they're getting with. Hopefully, I'm saying this right. They're getting with Powerhouse. Powerhouse are the people behind the Castlevania anime that they did for Netflix.
Right.
So basically, Kevin Smith and crew, his partner Mark Bernard, and a couple other people who have some extreme bona fides. They did Batman Hush, and the one of the writers also did what is it, the Dark Crystal, the new one that they have coming out.
There's too much content. I'm probably not going to watch it.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but they got greenlit for a series. The guy at Netflix is 100% behind it. There is a very strong underground He-Man. Hey, listen, there were people. They got fanfic and stuff like that.
I was watching a documentary on toys.
Mm-hmm.
He-Man is the top-selling toy this country ever had. Beat out Barbie, who had been around like 50 plus years.
I watched that. I watched that same. I think it was, what was it? The things that we
toys
we grew up with or something like that. And He-Man, it just exploded. And the one thing about He-Man is the box art on He-Man never quite matched the cartoon. They never really had the fighty, bang, bang. He-Man never took out anybody with his sword in the cartoon. Mm-hmm. They say this is going to be different.
All right, let's see some killing and all that.
I don't know if we're going to see killing and all that, but
it's for the kids.
Well, I've watched the Voltron reboot. I thought it was excellent.
I thought they were Voltron.
I watched pieces of Castlevania, but I remember I had to leave at the time I sat down to watch it. So I can't say what I saw was good, but I didn't see very much of it. But I'm looking forward to He-Man.
I'm looking forward to it too.
And did you know that originally the He-Man dolls, the original set, came with a comic book? And it's a totally different story. The characters are completely different.
I did know that because again, I saw the same documentary.
I had the toys when I was a kid.
No, they actually said that because the writer was the same writer from, I want to say G.I., who was writing G.I. Joe stuff. And they just didn't talk between cartoon and...
Like, I'll make this shit up.
Yeah.
All right. After failed negotiations between Disney and Sony, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios will no longer be going forward with the future of Spider-Man productions.
Upsetting news.
This was very, very upsetting. It was very upsetting because I just saw Far From Home yet again. Third time at the theater. I took my youngest to go see it. Me and him wasn't doing anything on one of the Tuesday, what do you call it? $5 Tuesdays. We went to go see it. He loved it. I loved it. We literally came out of the theater and I heard this news. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Yeah, it's almost like your quarterback going down in fantasy football and you hear about
the day before the draft.
Before your draft. Really sucks. Lana Wachowski will write and direct a fourth in the Matrix franchise. I mean, do we even need to go into this? I want to see this movie.
I don't want to see the movie.
I know, you're not a fan of The Matrix. I love The Matrix.
I thought the first one was pretty good.
The
second one was unbelievably lousy. And the third one had really good action scenes, but I thought the rest of the movie was weak.
I think because of the faults of the second movie, the third movie tried to make up for it, but it was too much, and it was one of those, if I can remember correctly, it was one of those, The Matrix 2 was out, and then like months later, The Matrix 3 came out.
Yeah, I don't even think later.
Yeah, it wasn't even a full year. Yeah, that The Matrix 3 came out, and it seemed like they just reacted to the negative response of.
I don't know. I thought that they had filmed those at the same time. And
yeah, but you know what? When you're editing and stuff, you could do it. I think they was
true.
Cutting, and then they reshot a bunch of stuff, and I think they kind of changed what they did because I was all in the bag for that because I got the Animatrix and stuff, and there were things that were in the Animatrix that was supposed to lead up into this, and you already had put this out, and then you kind of did a course correction.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, well.
Anyway, this week's review, Euphoria. Euphoria follows the troubled life of 17-year-old Rue, a drug addict fresh from rehab with no plans to stay clean.
They should have called it Euphoria.
I get it. Circling in Rue's orbits are Jules, a transgender girl searching for where she belongs. Nate, a jock whose anger issues mask sexual insecurities. Cassie, whose sexual history continues to dog her. And Kat, a body-conscious teen exploring her sexuality.
Every one of these things had something to do with sex.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll. This is not your grandmother's teen drama, okay? The series tackles a teenage landscape of substance-enhanced parties, anxiety-ridden day-to-day life with empathy and candor.
Is there nudity?
There is nudity. There's a lot going on this, and I'll even say, because even the storylines, like there's one girl who is, pretty much has been pretty all her life, and it's like, oh, pretty, oh, poor little pretty girl. But when they get into it, she's like, yeah, she was a pretty girl, and then of course when she starts developing, they have this scene where she's going to like a family barbecue, and all of her uncles and her dad's friends like, oh, hey, how you doing, honey? Come here, give me a hug. And she's like uncomfortably having these men have so much attention drawn to her and hugging on her. And it goes to show you, and then she was just constantly searching for her dad's approval and stuff like that. He left. So that's why she did things for guys, even if she didn't really want to do it, because and of course they're doing it in this age now where everybody got their camera phones and stuff, so they're filming all of their sex acts and putting it online and stuff like that. And people we didn't have to deal with this when we was in high school.
Well, I wasn't getting any.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why anyway, it's a good show. It's a good show.
This week, Ralphie D recommends Night of the Creeps. This 1986 gem of a horror movie is it's great. It's kind of a diamond in the rough, I would say. Alien brain parasites entering humans through the mouth turn their host into a killing zombie, and some teenagers start to fight against them. That's it in a nutshell. And it stars Jason Lively, who you know from European Vacation, Tom Atkins, who you know from several other horror movies, and some other people.
Yeah.
Great movie. Check it out. Night of the Creeps, man. If you like movies like The Blob, the remake, and shit like that, then this is
in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm Ralphie D, and that's news to me.
I'm Coolwater Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, that's me. We like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below and let your opinion be heard.
And if you like if you like this video, check out our other videos on our channel, like 252 and Retro Recast.
I'm JB. I'd like to give a shout out to my man AM at Comics Most Wanted. Like him, follow him, subscribe. And this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you hear it first.
Adonis, pull yourself together.